So, Marvel's introducing a gay Captain America. Hey Marvel, 2017 call. It wants its lame woke concept back. Now, don't act surprised because you knew this was coming. It's springtime for Marvel, so they've got to come up with something to stoke outrage clicks for books that'll never sell. Their brilliant idea this time was to promote a miniseries based solely on a random character's sexuality. So no, they didn't make the real Cap gay. They turned him into a Nazi. Instead, there's a person calling himself Captain America who's gay and fights for marginalized people in his community, because nothing says Captain America like only protecting people exactly like you. The catch is that the book isn't actually about this guy. It's about Cap looking for a stolen shield and having Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, and John Walker tag along as he searches the country to find it and meets the local people inspired by him along the way. If you're thinking that sounds boring and that you've read it before, you're right. This was the start of Mark Waid's recent Captain America run, but Marvel is no longer the house of ideas, and chances are no one working there read that book, so of course they're going to repeat themselves. But this follows a trend at Marvel in particular of promoting books based solely on identity politics. They did this with Miles Morales, Carol Danvers, Kamala Khan, Riri Williams, and a bunch of others. They don't tell you anything about the character, not their history, their powers, their personalities that would get you interested in the book. No, they just tell you their sex, sexuality, and race, and wait for the backpats. And in 2017, that would have worked. In current year, people are tired of it and will let you know, which is exactly what happened on this Newsarama tweet about the book, which got the main writer for the book, Christopher Cantwell's petty panties in a twist. He says, quote, "The comments here are pretty fucking disappointing." Let's stop right there, because no, they're not. The whole point of this miniseries and its promotion was to get this response. You wanted people to dislike this, which is why you led the promotion with a random character's sexuality. If you wanted a different response, you would have led the promotion with this being, quote, "a miniseries that also features Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, and John Walker as main characters who meet other people they've inspired all across America to fight for what they believe in." That conveys what the book would be about and why people would want to read it. You might add in some info about whether it's always Cap and Sam, Bucky, and John join him at different points, or if each issue follows one of the four as they meet the locals. But that's not what you did. Marvel chose to promote the book by focusing on this no-name GLBTQ plus asterisk hashtag up down left right hold A press start character. The first thing we learn about the book is that it'll feature a gay character, not that it's about Cap looking for his shield, which is a stupid premise in and of itself. You chose to provoke the fan base, so stop pretending to be offended. This is a response you wanted for whatever reason, so deal with it. Then he says, quote, "That's literally the premise, and the book is meant to be fun and inclusive and bring new artists and writers to the fore and give an interesting cross-section and snapshot of the country, written and drawn by a cross-section and snapshot of the country." And I'm sure that cross-section will include Southern conservative Christian, straight, or white males, right? You're totally gonna show how some Tennessee white boy was inspired by Bucky or Sam to fight for his right to express his faith at his woke liberal college he had to scrape every cent to attend, right? You're gonna do that, right? Or is it gonna be a bunch of progressive propaganda painting everyone who doesn't agree with your politics as a bigot? Because I'm sure one of those is more likely than the other, and it's not the one you think. Then he says, quote, "This is a miniseries outside the main book about the shield being stolen and four main Caps meeting local ones along the way." Okay, I'm sure that sounds like a cool idea to you, but to normal people, this sounds stupid because none of these people are Captain America. There is one Captain America. His name is Steve Rogers, and he's currently held in a maximum security prison after being retconned into a Nazi. None of these other people are Cap, and let's be real, the purpose isn't to tell a story about people inspired by Captain America. This is to let whatever creators get to work on the individual stories do their self-insert version of Captain America. If it were about people being inspired by Cap, the promo would have mentioned the other stories too. No, this was done to play identity politics, and people are tired of it. Y'all have played this game for 4 years. It's time to move on. No one wants this woke nonsense. Then he says, quote, "There are fun villains to fight." I suppose that's where all the conservative Christian straight white males will be. "The stories are sincere and I think pretty great." I'm sure they are because the far left have such a great track record of telling balanced, apolitical, sincere stories. That's why you promoted the book based solely on a character's sexuality. And to prove how sincere you are, here come the insults. Quote, "So it's up to you if you want to just have fun reading a Cap book or be an asshole. Hey, we're just following your lead. It's an asshole move to reduce someone down to who they want to bone. So if you're gonna go that low, there's no reason to be nice about calling that bigoted shit out. Ironically, the book isn't even written by a gay man but a transgender person, so it fails your own rules. Then he says, quote, I think this article's title is meant to stir the shit pot, which is unfortunate. Except it's not one article. Every article about this book I've seen, I count 5 now, focuses on the character's sexuality and includes no information about the book other than a generic road trip idea, and no pictures of the other inspired characters, which means either you or Marvel or both wanted this character's sexuality to be the selling point. You did that, so you can't complain. You wanted this response, you got it, deal with it. He ends with, quote, but it's just a 5-issue comic book with a fun cast, and I think it's funny and exciting and sincere. That's all. But go ahead and be outraged if that's what you need. You know, this would have been a more powerful clapback if you hadn't promoted the book as rage bait. You wanted the negative response. That's plainly obvious. There's no point in denying it. It's there for everyone to see. You could have said anything else about this book. Anything. Featured other characters, left out the part about the guy being gay, but you didn't. Marvel chose to send this image about this one guy being gay, knowing it would piss off fans tired of identity politics. You can't get mad about it when this is what you wanted. It should have been obvious that people are tired of this progressive nonsense in comics. People have rejected these books going on 7 years now. It's time to stop doing this because it's not bringing in new readers, it's not engaging, and it's not interesting. Y'all are literally telling the same stories over and over. Mark Waid just told this story. Move on. If you want to introduce this character, give me a reason to care about him. Telling me his sexual preference and nothing else ain't gonna cut it. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.